What if everything you thought you knew about education was backward? What if the secret to effective learning isn't what we teach, but how the mind actually absorbs, processes, and retains information? Welcome to the psychological perspective of education, where we dive deep into the science of how humans actually learn, not just how we think they should learn. Traditional education often treats all students like identical machines. Feed them information, expect identical outputs. But psychology reveals the profound truth. Every mind is wired differently, processes information uniquely, and responds to different motivational triggers. Let's start with the behavioral perspective. B.F. Skinner showed us that learning happens through reinforcement and conditioning. When students receive positive feedback for correct answers, their brains literally rewire to repeat those behaviors. This is why reward systems, grades, and immediate feedback work so powerfully in classrooms. But here's where it gets fascinating. Cognitive psychology reveals that learning isn't just about external rewards. It's about how the mind processes, organizes, and stores information. Jean Piaget discovered that children's minds develop in predictable stages, each with unique capabilities and limitations. This changes everything. A 7-year-old can't think abstractly like a teenager because their brain literally hasn't developed those neural pathways yet. Teaching calculus to elementary students isn't just ineffective, it's psychologically impossible. Enter constructivism, perhaps the most revolutionary insight in educational psychology. Students don't just passively receive information like empty vessels. They actively construct knowledge by connecting new information to existing mental frameworks. Vygotsky called this the zone of proximal development, the sweet spot where learning happens most effectively. This explains why some teaching methods feel natural while others feel forced. When education aligns with how the brain actually works, learning becomes effortless. When it fights against psychological principles, even brilliant students struggle. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences shattered another educational myth, that intelligence is singular and measurable by standardized tests. Some students are linguistic geniuses, others excel at spatial reasoning, and some have extraordinary interpersonal intelligence. Cookie-cutter education fails because it ignores this diversity. The social learning perspective adds another crucial layer. Students learn as much from observing peers and teachers as they do from direct instruction. The classroom environment, relationships, and social dynamics become teaching tools as powerful as any textbook. Modern connectivism theory recognizes how digital age learning has transformed education entirely. Students now learn through networks, online communities, and digital resources that previous generations couldn't imagine. Here's the profound implication. Effective education isn't about delivering content. It's about understanding the psychological principles that govern how minds grow, develop, and acquire knowledge. When we align teaching methods with these principles, learning becomes natural, engaging, and transformative. The most successful educators aren't just subject matter experts. They're applied psychologists who understand developmental stages, individual differences, motivation, memory, and social dynamics.